Hey everyone, welcome. My name is Tony Martinez. I am the founder of the Real Estate Advancement Institute, home of the CDPE, Certified Distressed Property Expert Designation, and the Military Residential Specialist, or MILRES, certification. As part of our ongoing mission to make sure that agents have the most up-to-date information, we are pleased to present a very special webinar today where we're going to be talking about all things related to home warranties. I got to tell you, I've been in the business for a long time, longer than I care to share. But one of the things I have found, if there's an area, especially in certain parts of the country, where agents are oblivious to the benefits that a home warranty can bring, the amount of additional transactions it can create, the amount of headaches that can be reduced or eliminated. Man, this topic is it. So I am just so excited that we have two amazing experts here to enlighten us, inform us. But ladies first, Tammy Birchler is here. She's like marketing rep supreme. I think she handles, if not the entire East Coast, most, if not all of Florida. I'll let you guys do the introductions and everything else. And then we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Jeff Velez, who is the National VP of Sales for Real Estate. So we got the talent on board. What I'm really hoping you guys are going to do is have an open mind, be receptive to what they have to listen to. Don't look at it like, yeah, but more like, wait a minute, if this is working in other markets, why can't it work in mine? So Jeff, Tammy, however you all want to carry it, the show is yours.
Let's go. All right, Tam, why don't you introduce yourself? Tam.
Okay,
good morning, or actually, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tammy Birchler. I am the representative here in Florida. I cover Central Florida and some other pockets of the state. I actually work with Tony and his team. I'm excited to be here. For those of you that don't know, HWA is a 13-month home warranty, and I just celebrated my 13th year with HWA. So I'm excited to be here. I believe in the product. I know it works, and we're so happy that you're here to learn more about our product and what we can do to help you and your clients and to help you grow your business. I'm going to turn it over to the one and only Jeff. I've known Jeff for years. I'm excited for him to share with you guys. And please let us know if we can help you and answer any questions that you might have.
Perfect. So thanks, Tam. Tammy is, and I know we're a really big industry, billions, but in terms of representation, it's not like mortgage or title or insurance or home inspectors where you just get pinged by people like every single day. In any particular market, there's less than 10 home warranty companies and or account executives in the area. So I know everyone that's in the business, basically, like in the state of Florida, and Tammy's by far the best. Been around a long time and gets the job done. I was a regional VP for another home warranty company and had the opportunity to take over sales at HWA almost 2 years ago. And it's been phenomenal. And we're proud of what we're doing. And the goal is, and this is open format too, so just pipe in, raise your hand, whatever it takes, because the goal is that we walk away from here where you will not want to do another transaction without having a home warranty as part of that transaction, whether you're on the seller side or the buyer side. Nor will you want any of your clients that are out there. And it could be a client that's you're working with now that's closing, or a client that's recently closed, or someone that you've worked with 10 years ago, to not have some kind of coverage on their home. So we're going to kind of show you all those things. We'll talk, we'll kind of start slow, but I don't know if anyone by raise of hands who's been in the business more than 5 years. And I'm not manning the chat or anything like that, but if anyone's been in the business more than 5 years, raise your hand. And then we'll say, for those of you who have not been in the business more than 5 years, this may be a new topic for you. So pre-COVID, home warranties were used a lot more than they are today. When inventory went to nothing, and you guys remember that, things stayed off transactions. People or agents did not ask for any concessions, no closing costs, no repairs, no warranty. No, they just clean offer, over asking price, accept my offer, please, escalation clauses, the whole bit, right? So the usage for home warranties, especially in the Eastern United States, went down dramatically. And honestly, the people that got hurt most were the homeowners that moved into the homes. So for the people that have, the OGs, if you will, that have been here more than 5 years, you've probably used home warranties before, maybe all the time, maybe sometimes. And then for a lot of the newer agents, it wasn't something you really had to learn about because fundamentally, when someone gets into the business as an agent, you want to learn everything you can. And you've got Tony Martinez here, great platform for education, whether it's distressed property, veterans, all the fundamentals, learning about loan programs. You have an affiliation with a mortgage company, learning about title, what clouds a title, what can delay a closing, insurance, what can be insured, how old does a water heater have to. I mean, there's all these things you have to learn to be the best at your craft. And this is just one more kind of channel that we're going to dial into today. So again, feel free, pipe in. But our theme to this is home warranties are back in style again. So here we go. So we're proud as HWA Home Warranty of America that we've been recently recognized by U.S. News and World Reports as the best overall home warranty company in the United States. And if you see that logo, you'll see that logo on billboards. You'll see it recognizing great hospital chains. You'll see it recognizing great schools and universities around the country. Proudly, I'm a parent of 2 graduated Florida Gators, right? They're a top 5 university as recognized by U.S. News and World Report. So it's something we're really, really proud of. And you're working with a legit player in the market because all the companies are evaluated, and it's not a paid advertising kind of thing. This is evaluated by U.S. News and World Report, and they put out these rankings. So when it comes to home warranties, we're like, what's new in 2026? And nothing. So thanks, everyone. We're done. No, I'm joking. What's new for home warranties is nothing, right? Clients still need coverage. What we are seeing around the country is listing coverage is being used more in transactions on a national basis. Sellers are providing warranties as an incentive to buy. Properties are staying on the market longer. So in lieu of just reducing your price or adjusting your price, there's other things you can do strategically to help your deal get to the finish line. It's almost like if you're purchasing a vehicle, you would probably want a car that was certified pre-owned as opposed to one that had no warranty when you drove it off the lot. So think of it in those terms. It's like buying or selling a certified pre-owned house, okay? There's more confidence by the buyer. We'll talk about that a little bit more later on. And then the other piece of it is homeowners' repair costs continue to rise. People don't have the extra money, especially when they're paying top dollar for a home, to really deal with what happens after they move in. And we'll share some information and statistics that address that going forward. So the other piece of a home warranty isn't just about protecting the homeowner, it's about protecting you. So there's E&O insurance, right? Errors and omissions, and claims for E&O insurance are rising. They're rising at a frequency of about 9% per year. The average claim, if you look at it, it's like $39,000. My hopes and prayers are that no one's ever had to be part of an E&O claim, but this insurance is there for a reason. And a lot of it is just disclosure issues. Even though Florida, if you're in Florida, is an as-is state, it's as is, but it's never really as is, right? There's always something that comes up after. And most claims that relate to something regarding the condition of the house come after closing. And it's always going to go, hey, I had a home inspection, but the home inspector isn't an HVAC tech. So they didn't see how in disrepair or condition that HVAC unit was. And 2 weeks after someone moves in, they're spending $15,000 on a new HVAC system, right? That can generate dissatisfaction. It can generate a lawsuit. It can hurt future referral business. I mean, there's all kinds of things attached to it. But, what they say is everything feels fine until it isn't. So the goal is that E&O insurance will react to the issue and help you in that regard, but a home warranty prevents that type of escalation. So if a home warranty was part of that transaction and there was an issue, say with that HVAC system, the fact that there's coverage from maybe even when the seller had it listed or coverage for the buyer, it insulates you a little bit from that kind of trouble. So I'll pause there for a second. Tony, any comments, any questions? I'm not looking at chat or anything right now.
Nope, none so far.
You're good? Okay,
You're good to go.
awesome. All right, so let's be honest. Okay, so why aren't home warranties part of every transaction? And Tony, I'm going to ask you that question. Why do you think? What's the perception of many real estate agents out there?
Based on what I have found is they aren't even aware that it's a thing. Okay, so it starts with just that lack of information that this is even there. And then, okay, they may have heard of it, but they don't understand exactly what it entails. And then from there, they don't necessarily know how to incorporate that into their presentations and their business as a way of offsetting some of these ridiculous demands on the part of buyers after an inspection. So it really is like starting from ground zero, from scratch. And that's why I'm excited about presenting this, because I think that any agent that chooses to incorporate this, at least in the interim, in the near future, is going to have a distinct advantage over the competition that's probably oblivious to offering this. And this is why I wanted so many of my team members and people that I have influence over and with to understand what it's all about.
So, normal questions, and this is like, if you see things online, right? So the first thing about a home warranty, so a home warranty, it's understanding coverage, just like any other type of insurance, and it's really a service plan. And home warranties aren't bumper to bumper coverage, okay? But what they're designed to do is protect the budget of the homeowner. So it's all about budget protection and mitigating what they have to pull out of pocket to maintain their home for the things that are covered, all systems and appliances, plumbing, electrical, which we'll talk a little bit about. So, there's a perception out there, oh, they're not worth it, right? Or the claims are a headache. I had to, one of my clients had a claim and it was a problem, and that's perception. Clients don't know, they don't ask, right? They don't know what they don't know until you provide that education. And there's also like a lack of training, which is, fortunately, thanks Tony, it's why we're here, right? To give you that awareness, to just up your game a little bit, help your people. Because when they move into that home and something happens, which statistically odds are that it will, which again, we'll show you some numbers that'll make your head spin. You may know about it, you may not know about it. They may call you or they may not call you, or something may happen and they may go, man, my agent referred that inspector and that inspector didn't catch this, and then I had to spend this money, and they may have some dissatisfaction. And because of that, and you have no coverage, they may not call you and provide that next referral for a family member. So it's all about generating ancillary business post-closing. So it's really kind of the elephant in the room, right? No one talks about it. It doesn't get brought up. And we are here today to address the elephant in the room. So
Jeff,
the reality of homeownership, I'm sorry?
can I chime in a little?
Sure,
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
I just wanted to go back to what Tony said and what you were explaining. Tony hit it on the head. Education is what is so important with home warranty. That is one of the reasons why we're here, like Jeff said. But if you're not in the Florida area, or you're in another area, please reach out to us. We have reps all over the U.S., and our number one goal at HWA is to educate you. We want you to feel educated and feel confident when you're talking to your clients about home warranty. So please reach out to us if you aren't in Florida, and I wouldn't be your current rep, because we'd love to get you in contact with that rep.
Yeah, we're in all 50 states. One of the few home warranty companies that operates in all 50 states. We actually have relationships, and LPT's a great partner for us nationally. We have some massive LPT teams around the country that work with us. I know, Tony, you're familiar with Sam and the folks at Big Block out there in California and in Tampa Bay, Andrew Duncan. I mean, there I can go on and on. There's a lot of LPT, big teams and brokerages and agents that work with us. So we're happy to have a partnership with you guys now.
Hey,
So
hey
back
Jeff,
to so that
before we
yeah,
just, I just want to be as transparent as possible. We tend to open these things up so that anyone can participate. So we may
awesome.
have folks here that are, or they'll listen to the video, watch the video later on that don't have anything to do with LPT. So, I just want everyone to understand that you're broker agnostic. You work with
Exactly.
everyone. Absolutely. You work with all companies.
We work with every brand, and what's cool about it in this business, and my wife's a real estate agent, so we're in this business every day, and I feel like as far as real estate models go and brokerages, everyone finds their tribe. We're here to support everybody, whether your logo is blue or your logo is red or your logo is orange, whatever. We're here to support everyone. So, so to kind of keep rolling here. So the reality part of homeownership. I mean, I'm sure you see those two old rusty HVAC units. You've probably seen that on a property that you've shown before, and then below it you've got two nice shiny new units there. 75% of homeowners experience unexpected breakdowns. So if you have 10 homes that you sold, 7 of those people are going to have something that happens that's unexpected in the first year of homeownership. 40% of those repairs are going to be over $3,000. It could be a plumbing leak. It could be a new water heater. It could be an HVAC system. I mean, there's all kinds of things. It could be having to purchase a new appliance that bites the dust. So 40% exceed $3,000. So it's not a matter of if, it's when. So the other piece about the HVAC, and I'm not going to dive too deep into this, but I'll just give you the basics. So there's something called the A2L mandate. So everyone's heard the term, probably, hopefully, Freon, right? Freon's kind of what's in that HVAC system that provides the coolant, right, to get in there and make the house cold. There used to be R22 was kind of the old Freon. That got changed out to something that was more environmentally friendly called 410A. And now effective, this was January of last year, there was a new refrigerant that came out, was called A2L, which is even better for the environment. The only problem is when you went from that original R22 to the 410A, there was some compatibility there. So, if there was an issue with the outside unit, you can replace it, but not have to replace the inside unit. There was kind of widgets that help keep that thing going and, minimize what the homeowner is going to have to spend. Now with this A2L, there are no widgets. So if you replace that outside unit, you also have to replace the inside air handler part of it. So what that means for the homeowners, if they have no coverage and they have an older system, it's going to be a more expensive repair for those folks. So having coverage, whether you're buying a house now or whether you've been in your house 10 or 15 years, is essential, especially if you have aging systems and appliances. So we talk about claims, right? People, claims, no one pays claims. Let me share some information with you about HWA 2025. We paid $208 million in claims. And if you look at the pie chart, the large majority of those claims were appliances, right? Over $85 million in appliance claims and or replacing appliances. And I don't know anyone's age out here, but I know from when I was a kid, my parents had just a tank of a washing machine in our house. The thing lasted 25 years. Today's appliances are built for obsolescence. They just don't last as long. With these new fancy refrigerators, whether it's a Samsung or an LG or a Frigidaire, and they have electronics and Wi-Fi, and they have Keurigs built into them, and it's crazy. With all those features, things break down, and with more electronics, things will break down even faster. So appliance claims, and the one thing I'll say about appliance claims, which I think is a genius move by our CEO, if you've ever had an appliance repair and you had somebody come out to your house and they assess it and they look at it and go, okay, I've got an order a part. It's a little independent appliance repair person. They leave, they order the part comes in. You got to get back on their schedule so they can come back and install the part. And here it could be a week or 2 weeks or more go by and your appliance still isn't working the way it was designed. what we did as a company a little over a year ago is we decided to go right to the manufacturers. So we have contracts with GE and LG and Samsung and Frigidaire and Electrolux, and where we're sending either direct GE repair people to your house. And what's cool about that is when they show up to your house and they know the symptoms, they generally have the parts on board to repair that product while they're there, better than 70% of the time. So it's just something we did as a company to make the process better, to make the experience better. HVAC claims, you see almost $60 million. Plumbing, electrical, other things could be like pools, septic. I mean, there's all kinds of things that we cover. But $208 million in claims. We had 1.2 million service calls. So these are real claims, real payouts, and your homeowners are really protected. So there's a financial gap when someone moves into a house, and these are just clips from articles that we've been able to share, and they're all pretty recent. Ones from November, ones from December, and it talks about hidden home costs hit $16,000 outpacing incomes. Now, hidden home costs, it talks about $10,900 spent on maintenance. It says $3,000 and change spent on property taxes and $2,003 spent on homeowners insurance. Well, first of all, I don't know if they're in Florida or not, but I know homeowners insurance can be certainly a lot more money depending on the price of the house or where you're located. But just in general, people are spending more to maintain their homes. The other article references someone that spent $4,300 on repairs, and someone told them anything under $10,000, you're doing good. So these are real articles from real people that have been interviewed, and these are your clients that are moving into these homes and not really equipped to provide the maintenance. So they're doing other things or delaying, working with things that may not be operating perfectly just because they don't have the money. And this is where a warranty comes in and kind of provides that gap or that budget protection for them. So when people move into a house and they invest their money, right? They pay top dollar, they put a down payment, they have little left after closing and moving in. They're buying maybe appliances, maybe they're redoing the floors, they're painting, all their disposable income is getting used. So most Americans don't have $1,000 set aside for an emergency expense. So the goal for you as an agent is don't let them move in without coverage. They say home maintenance averages 1 to 3% of the value of the home annually. So let's just cut it in half and say it's 2%. 2%, you have a $500,000 home, that's $10,000 in annual maintenance. And it could be things outside of what a warranty covers. It could be a roof, it could be siding. There's other things that you have to factor in, but it all, anything you can do to mitigate some of what someone's going to have to spend is going to make you look good and make your people feel better because they're protected. So the cost piece of it, our base home warranty in the state of Florida and most of the United States is $475. Okay, it's very, very low. It says up to $800. Our top plan, our diamond plan, which is incredible coverage, is $675. I just put up to $800 in the event that someone has a pool that they want to cover, or septic, or they want to upgrade some other parts of their coverage. But if you look at an HVAC replacement, can be $7,000 to about $15,000 or even more. A water heater, $1,500 is low. That's usually about a $2,000 event. So you're helping people get protected for less than potentially $2 a day. So now insurance, how does homeowners insurance and home warranties work together, or how are they different? So if you had a buyer buy a house cash and they told you they weren't going to get homeowners insurance because they didn't have to satisfy the lender, they said, hey, homeowners insurance is, man, I got a quote, it was $6,000. I bought the house cash, I'm not going to get it yet. I'll get a quote after I get moved in and settled. As an agent, you'd probably feel a little bit weird that your client doesn't have homeowners insurance. Like, what could happen, right? I mean, maybe, right? Someone leaves the curling iron on, or there's an electrical fire, or there's a lightning strike, or something, there's a flood or a pipe burst. I mean, these are low probability incidences, but there's a 5.8% chance that in that first year, something like that would happen. But you'd still feel really weird if someone said, nope, I don't have homeowners insurance on my house. Yet we let people walk away from closing all day long, or don't educate our customers or even make them aware that there's coverage available, where things that happen around the house are high probability. It's real life stuff. So the warranty covers the things that will happen in their home. So when you talk about the unexpected expenses, this chart here shows this was a survey done by a company called Hippo Insurance. It's called their House Power Report. This was for 2025. They survey a bunch of homeowners out there. They do this every year and they provide their feedback. So the unexpected maintenance spend you see there on the right-hand side, if you look, 27% spent less than $1,000. But if you take the 44%, that was 1,100 to 5,000. Next, you have 5 to 10,000 or 10,000 or more. Those three categories amount to 2/3 of those homeowners spent more than $1,100 or more than $1,000 on unexpected expenses. So again, this is where the unexpected happens. And if you have your buyers or your clients prepared, they can just better navigate and maybe not have to put something on a credit card, right? And go into further debt. Maybe a repair or replacement of something. Maybe their out of pocket's 300, not 3,000. This is where you come in kind of looking like the hero. So next time you're writing a contract on your FAR bar, as is contract, when you get to this part here, just don't bypass it. Don't just click the NA box. Like write in HWA, Home Warranty of America, our plans, and we can provide you the information. Tammy's going to show you how to kind of sign up on our portal and kind of manage your plans and orders and things like that. So it's really easy to bypass this when you're trying to get a contract or an offer submitted, but kind of take the time and think about that homeowner, that client of yours that you've developed a relationship with, and know that when they move in that house, excuse my language, but shit's going to happen, right? So, let's take care of those people. And we're here, even if for some reason it wasn't part of the transaction, all you have to do is simply send your client a text, which you've been texting the whole time, right? Include Tammy in your text and say, hey, hope you're getting settled in. I'm including Tammy with HWA. You really need to get a home warranty. She's going to reach out to you with coverage options. Even if you just do that alone and let her take over from there, at least you're giving them the opportunity, because when someone decides they need a home warranty, if they go and Google home warranty, there are a lot of crappy companies out there, just like there's a lot of, crappy title companies or lenders or insurance people or agents. You want to deal with someone who's reputable, who's been recognized, who's going to take care of claims. Our relationships with the real estate community will make sure that they're not just a direct consumer homeowner that has no recourse. Tony has a client and there's an issue. Tony calls Sammy, hey, these people need help. Can you step in? We're going to step in and be a voice for those people to try and get their issue resolved. So there's truly a difference. So, before you let them go out on the open market to just get any kind of warranty coverage, you'd rather them be with us. So let's talk a little bit about seller's coverage. I'll pause right there. Tammy, anything you want to add?
Nope. Doing great so far.
Yes. All right.
I did answer. There are some questions, but I went ahead and answered those.
Awesome. Okay. So let's talk about seller's coverage. Seller's coverage, it's also known as listing coverage. Okay. When someone puts a house on the market, and especially now that homes are staying on the market longer, there's an opportunity for something to happen while that home is listed. So anything that happens from a repair standpoint while that home is listed is taking away from that seller's net and makes them more inflexible to negotiate. Because if something, I'll just tell you a story. My wife had a listing. I had a buyer. She represented the buyer. She's providing a home warranty at closing. However, the seller didn't have seller's coverage or listing coverage. It can be used interchangeably. And the week of closing, this was the week of Thanksgiving, on the Monday before Thanksgiving, the listing agent calls and says, hey, the refrigerator's not working. They called service. And it just so happens that this client was bringing $6,700 to closing. Believe it or not, I know you think everyone has equity, but sometimes someone's situation may change. So these people were already bringing money to closing. and they had a $900 repair on an LG refrigerator. It was a main board, which if they had seller's coverage at the time, would have been a covered repair. So it would have saved that seller money, okay, over what they were having to bring. Seller's coverage with us, it's from the time that home goes under contract, it's good for 6 months. Hopefully it's not on the market any longer than that, but in the event that we have to extend it, we can. And there's up to $3,000 in coverage available for the homeowner when they have listing coverage. So what it does is, it increases the marketability of the property, because when someone buys that house, they know that there's been coverage, especially if there's transitioning to a buyer's plan at closing. It's reducing the risk of any like post-sale disputes that happen. Hey, we moved in and then this wasn't working. If there's coverage and something's not working, the seller's going to address it, right? Because they have that coverage. And it gives buyers the incentive, because it's like, hey, they know that this home's been maintained, it's been taken care of, and they feel confident that they're in their purchase, knowing that the odds of unexpected expenses are going to be a lot less. So show of hands, you can put it in the chat or whatever, who's had a listing that's been on the market for a minute and you made a price adjustment? I'm sure, I can't see the chats or anything, but I'm sure there's a few out there, right? Because homes are staying on the market longer. So strategically, I'll just give you a scenario. So if you list a property, let's say you're going to list a property and you say, we're going to list your house at $599. And I know your number is about $585 and we have some wiggle room in the event something comes up, right? Because even though Florida's an as-is state, once there's a home inspection, it's not as is anymore. They're always going to come back and ask for something. Hey, the water heater's old, or the appliances are old, the washer dryer look all rusted. We want a $3,000 credit, right? It happens. If you go into that listing and say, hey, we're going to list your house for $599, we're going to include a home warranty for the buyer of the property. So right from the beginning, it makes the property more marketable. It's like we talked about earlier. It's like buying that certified pre-owned vehicle, right? So if they come back and say, hey, the water heater is 6 years old, we know it's only has a life of 8 years, 9 years, whatever the home inspector says, and they ask you for concession, you can say it's in good working order. We're providing a home warranty for the buyer. In the event it doesn't work, they can get it repaired. If they can't repair it, it'll get replaced. So you're providing a warranty for $600, $700, whatever that number is, in lieu of acquiescing to a $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 concession that buyer's asking for, right? It's better for your reputation, because it just, again, it shows full transparency. Yes, maybe the systems and appliances are a little bit older, but they've been maintained and they're covered right now in the event something happens. Preventing delays in closing. I told you the story about the refrigerator, right? That there was a potential delay, right? My wife had to do an escrow holdback for $3,000 in the event that they couldn't fix the refrigerator. So it delayed the closing one more day because they had to get everything acknowledged. So things like that. This is where a warranty will come in and help you get things to the finish line a lot cleaner than normal.
And like Jeff said, set the expectation at your listing appointment, because things break every single day. And when you let that potential seller know, hey, we're going to include a warranty for the buyer, but we're also going to put a warranty on your home while it's listed, that is huge. If their refrigerator breaks, if their dishwasher breaks during the listing period, sellers don't want to put out more money. They want to, have that extra money for their new home that they're purchasing. So in the long run, warranty can make you guys look like the hero in the end, because you saved that client money that they didn't have to put out.
And the cool thing about seller's coverage or listing coverage is you don't pay for it up front. It's paid at closing. Okay. So in the event, and seller's coverage in the state of Florida is $75. $75 to get you $3,000 in coverage, right? It's not paid until closing. If the transaction, for whatever reason, doesn't close, we're generally not coming back after you guys. Hey, you owe $75. If it doesn't close, the goal with seller's coverage for us, honestly, is that converts to a buyer's plan at closing. So we're trying to show, some good faith in providing that coverage while the property is listed. But the real get for us is that seller's providing a warranty at closing, and or if the buyer is asking for a warranty as part of that transaction, that it's written in as HWA, and that kind of makes us happy. That makes providing that $75 in seller's coverage for $3,000 in total claims a win for us, because we're getting that. Because really in the warranty business, we want them to have that first year warranty for 13 months. But the goal for us as a company is to do a great job and have them renew. And the more years they renew, the better it is for us as a company, because our pricing is so low that, first year home warranties are, a lot of times, you think about it, if someone paid $675 for a warranty and had 2 claims that amounted to $2,200, we're underwater, right? So we have to kind of cast a really wide net to kind of, just like any other insurance type company. So we really want to do a great job so that homeowner renews. They love the peace of mind. They use the warranty and they want to keep it after that initial 13 months is over. But, as a strategy or a tactic, go back to any listings you have on the market right now and say, okay, I've got, 5 listings out there. And Tammy's going to show you how to kind of log into the portal and create your own account. You can actually go in there, and even if it's been listed for 30 days, you can go in there and apply listing coverage to that property. So it's covered from today to the point of closing. So it's just that extra layer, because again, the longer something's on the market, the higher the chances are that something will go wrong. And it could be washing machine, it could be a dishwasher, it could be the disposal, it could be just something little. But again, while these people are thinking about selling their house and moving, the last thing they want is any kind of unexpected repair. So you can go back and add listing coverage. We have brokerages out there that every listing that goes out has seller's coverage as part of it. It's an auto list. Every time a listing goes in, it's got seller's coverage, and it really helps protect the sellers, but it also helps our conversion to a buyer's plan going forward. So anything you have out there, and if you have questions, you can reach out to us, post this call, and we can tell you how to get that started. We also have sign writers that you can hang on a sign that show we are, this home comes with a warranty if we're providing a warranty for the folks at closing. So there's a lot we can do. There's some marketing materials we have to help you guys. We have door hangers and all kinds of things like that. So, when you talk about HWA, why? It's 13 months of coverage, not 12. We've been in business over 25 years, going on 30. There's no age limits on anything. I've had a claim get escalated to me, and it was an HVAC system in Louisiana that was over 30 years old. Guess what? We're able to fix it. If we weren't able to fix it, we would replace it. So there is or are no age limits on systems and appliances. And the one thing about us is, so when we're completing a claim, we, under our umbrella, our corporate umbrella, we're the second largest home warranty company in the country. So what we buy equipment for is super, super low. So it means lower out-of-pocket costs for the homeowner. There's some home warranty plans out there that say, oh, we'll let you choose your own contractor. It's like, yeah, great. Choose your own contractor that's going to charge you retail, and they're only going to reimburse you up to a certain amount. So your homeowner's still spending more money. The fact that we're as large as we are, and we can buy equipment for, I had a deal recently where the full system cost for us for a 4-ton HVAC system was just under $4,500. And add to that installation and labor and stuff like that. It was a claim where the out-of-pocket for the homeowner was just about $750. But $750, they got a brand new HVAC system. So having the lower out-of-pocket cost really helps the homeowner at the end. And we'll customize plans depending on what type of property you have. If it's a condo, if it's a townhouse, if it's a house over 5,000 square feet or over 10,000 square feet, there's things we can do there. And then Tammy's going to share the how service happens. And our service network is over 25,000 vetted, insured contractors, service providers that we have out there. So I'm going to, the last thing I'll say before I hand it over to Tammy is, so the other thing we do is when you have our diamond plan and someone buys a home, we're providing them 1 year of like title lock identity theft protection. And what's cool about that is it's included in our diamond plan. So someone just bought a house, guess what? They're applying for credit, utilities, they're buying furniture, they did a loan. Their information's out there in the universe. So as another layer of protection, we're providing that home title identity theft protection for 1 year. They sign up for it at a kind of post-closing. They'll get an email when they sign up and it'll acknowledge that they'll have that protection. So it's just one more value-added service that you're giving to your client post-closing. So, again, we're here to protect you, protect your clients. That's what we'd like to do. We just want to be part of a winning team with you as the agent or, a brokerage or whoever you have on your team. We're here to educate your transaction coordinators on how to get things ordered. We're on platforms like a SkySlope. If someone uses SkySlope, if it's .loop, can get put in the library on .loop, so you can kind of click into it and order a plan. So there's a lot of ways we can help it become an easier process. But I'm going to go ahead and Tammy, are you able to share your screen? And I'm going to just exit out of this here.
Yep. I just wanted to add a few things coming off of Jeff. One of the questions was, do we cover mobile homes? Yes, we cover mobile homes. They are included under our condo townhome rate, which is about $30 cheaper per plan than the single family home. I know when I was in Tony's office last week, there was, I think they called her the mobile home queen, was in the office that I met. So yes, we do cover mobile homes.
Tammy, on the mobile homes, there's mobile homes that include the land, and then there's the mobile homes that are vehicles. Do you cover both, or the ones that are with the land? They're actually considered residential property.
Residential property.
So not the ones that are just the vehicle only.
Correct. Not the ones that are vehicle, because those can be moved around all the time.
Right.
So we actually cover the residential address of where that mobile home is located.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So it's got to be it's got to be where it is an actual real estate transaction. Okay, good. I'm glad we got that cleared up, because I didn't want any misunderstandings down the road.
Yep, correct. Another question I saw on there was about the brochures. If you're on Tony's team, the brochures are in the office, and I do also have them in PDF. I can send them over. If you're not in Tony's team, please drop your email address in the chat, and I can definitely email those over. We have the PDF of the brochure in both English and in Spanish. And if you look at the back page of the brochure, we break down the seller's coverage and we break down our 3 buyers plans, and it tells you exactly what is covered. And then we also, Jeff had talked about, we have add-ons, septic, well, outdoor kitchen, irrigation system. So all of that is in the brochure. And then what I call the nuts and bolts of the brochure, inside that brochure, we list everything item by item. We tell you everything that's covered per item. So there are no questions when it comes down to when you're handing out that brochure to your clients, that both you know and your clients know what we cover as well. So when you work with HWA, it's very easy to set up an account with us. Basically, we set you up into our system. And once you're set up into the system, using your email address, you will be able to go log into hwahomewarranty.com. Very easy, very standard website. Once you're in there, you're going to go under a real estate professional. And what pops up next is your login and password, which will be your email address that we set you up in the system, and then your new password that you guys set up. Once you're in there, this is what's going to come up. This is just a mock account of myself. So it's just going to tell you your information, Tammy Birchler, address, company name. You can change your password. You can change your mailing address. If you want to add a preferred title partner, you can do that as well here. But this will show you all of your policies that you have with HWA. If you have any past dues, they'll appear here. So maybe you had a closing scheduled for last Friday and you forgot to let me know that the closing got delayed till this Friday. You can change the closing date right there. You can do all your pending buyers policies here. This will bring up all the policies that you already set up with HWA that are about to close. So we have all of those listed there. And once you have those up there, it'll tell you paid, not paid. Obviously, I don't have any policies, and this is a mock account. Your seller's policies as well. It'll let you view the contract, see the property address, give you the property number. And if you need to order escrow, you can order escrow as well. Your paid policies will appear right here. So this will be anyone that you ordered an HWA policy for a buyer that has been closed and paid. So this will be listed here as well. And then we have another item that you can work with HWA. It's called HWA After. Jeff talked about a lot about, don't forget to put the HWA and the policy information into the contract when you're writing the contract. But if, let's just say that the warranty is not submitted for the closing, the buyer decides, no, I don't want a closing, seller doesn't want to pay for it. But let's say they close today and a week later they realize, hey, I'm going to call Tony back. I do want to get a warranty. So once your client has closed 60 days ago or more, we have a policy called HWA After. It's going to be the same rates, same plans. It's not going to be a 13-month policy. It's going to be a 14-month policy because they're outside of the real estate transaction. We are going to implement a 30-day wait on that policy. Real estate transaction policies start day one of closing. If you didn't get the warranty at closing and you're getting it after, then you do have a 30-day wait. And the beauty of the HWA After policy is they can either pay in full or they can do payment plans at no additional charge with us. And it would be still paid for the 12-month fiscal year, even though it's going to end up being a 14-month policy. So not only with HWA, you get your seller's coverage, you get your buyer's coverage for your real estate transactions, but now we've given you a way to go back and pick up the phone to all your past clients that closed with you that didn't get a warranty. So it's a way for you guys to do a touch back, check in with that client, see if they have any friends or family looking to, list or sell, list or buy, get the referral out of that. And then you can let them know, hey, we've now partnered with HWA and we know you didn't get a warranty a few months ago, but we can still give you the same rates and same plans and they can still get that policy. So it's an added touch that we give back to you guys. Because what's the number one thing that you guys want from your clients? You want referrals. And this is a way to reach back out to get that referral from your past client. And with the real estate market, you guys have listing appointments. You have buyer's consultations. You might not have reached out to that client. It might be 6, 7, 8 months since they closed with you. It is a way for you to pick up that phone and reach back out. So we have multiple ways to help your current clients, your future clients, and your past clients. And with HWA, like Jeff said, we have sales reps all across the United States, and we actually the majority of us work and live in our markets. So we are here to be your resource. We want to support you. Phone call, email, that's all we are, is a text, phone call, email away. You can reach out to us anytime. When you're trying to order the policy, the portal is the best way to order the policy. But if you're busy, actually, I just got a text now. They're sitting at the closing table. They forgot to order, so we have to get one set up. Send it to me. I'll set it up for you. We're here to be your support system. I don't expect you guys to know everything about home warranty. We want you to guide your clients to home warranty, and that is what our goal is. So use me as your support system. I want to be the expert for you in home warranty and to help your clients. I don't mind talking to your clients. You are more than welcome to give them my information. I would love to have a one-on-one call with them to explain a little bit better as well. Another question I get asked all the time is about our claims process. Actually, let me stop there. Are there any questions on anything that I've talked about so far before I go into claims?
And if you have a client that's Spanish speaking, y habla español, so I can talk to them as well for you on your behalf.
And we have the Spanish PDF brochures too. that we
Right,
can
which I'm
get.
going to show you really, really quick here, Tam. I just pulled it up.
Okay, go ahead. You want me to stop share?
Yeah. You see it there?
There it is.
So that's the one page. We have that in English and in Spanish, but it tells you the different plans. That tells you the $100. So the $100 trade call fee is like basically their deductible that they pay to have someone come out. But those are our three plans. The Diamond is obviously the best plan that we have. And if you want the full brochure, you can scan that QR code, and it has prices for the other options that are on there available as well. So it's a basic brochure, but if you want the full brochure, you just scan that QR code. All right.
Okay. Jeff, did you check the chat, or are we good to go for me to go over claims real quick?
I think we're good. Yeah, just so folks to forward the brochure, which we'll do.
Okay, just real quick, a question I get asked a lot is how to file a claim. We have multiple ways that you can file a claim. They can call into our 800 line and go through the prompts and get the claims department. But once your clients close, they are going to get an email from us giving them all of their policy information and how to file a claim. And the quickest and easiest way to file a claim is to do it online. Once they log into the portal, just like you log into the portal as a real estate professional, they would log in as a homeowner, and they're able to view all of their claims, view their account information, and that's where they would file a claim. And how our system works is I kind of talk about it as being like an Uber system. Once a claim is filed, it gets sent out to our vendors in that particular area. And the vendor that picks it up first is the one that gets the job. And once they have that, your client will get an email immediately back with the vendor's name and phone number and their scheduled appointment time. If that appointment time doesn't work, because we all know we work and have commitments, they are more than welcome to reach back out to that vendor to change their appointment time as well. Our claim system is very easy to work with, very user-friendly. And that can be more of a one-on-one, one-off with me if you guys want to learn more about that as well. Jeff, I do see some questions. I see that the brochures are in the office. Yep, I saw that.
Yeah, no restrictions on age of home, year built, zero. Nothing in regards to the age of the home or the age of the system or the appliance. So you could have an old, avocado looking, stove in your house, as long as it's working. So the thing about warranties is warranties aren't a Band-Aid for a bad home inspection, right? So the idea is that at the day of closing, when that warranty goes into effect, that everything is in good working order. So it's not, and there are agents out there that just, you guys know, you see it every day, that don't do business the right way. And they may say, hey, I know it's not working. Let's just Band-Aid this thing. And then when you close, well, we'll get you a home warranty and then you can get it fixed after closing. Everything's got to be in good working order is really kind of the agreement / understanding when coverage takes place. We don't require home inspections. We don't go into the home we're doing it, based on the trust and the integrity of our partners. But there are times if something's a little sketch, we're going to ask some second and third level questions just to make sure that we can kind of vet out that this thing was actually working at the time of closing.
If anything's been disclosed to you, or if anything has come up on the inspection, that would need to be looked at prior to closing for the warranty to work after the buyer purchases the home.
All right. Do we have any additional questions? We're coming up on our time here, but I would like to emphasize the following. In your listing presentation, folks, I think it would be an incredible thing for you to say, not only do I give you this, I give you this, this, and this, but I'm also going to make sure that you're covered from the time we start working together until the time your home closes. I think that's going to give them tremendous peace of mind Because I think you first have to say, what are you going to do in case this happens? Yeah. Well, you know what? The typical agent wouldn't even suggest this. I go far beyond suggesting it. I'm going to take care of it. And you know what? You're out. You're out $75. I don't think you're out anything. You invested $75 upon closing of that property. You know how much you make on those closings. So I think if that's something that you have not been doing in your listing presentations, you need to start incorporating that immediately.
So, I saw something where Gabby put, especially where the appliances are not new, but here's one other, like another little quick tidbit. So if you move into a home and everything's new, let's say this home's been, it's a flip, it's been rehabbed, and you have new appliances, or the appliances are relatively new, and something happens, and let's say those appliances are under manufacturer's warranty. So what happens is, if you have our diamond plan and something's under manufacturer's warranty, guess what? Let's say it's your HVAC system and you have a carrier. Carrier's going to cover the parts. Let's say it was your fan motor goes bad and it's under manufacturer's warranty. That's cool. But guess what? If you don't have a home warranty, that homeowner is still paying for the labor to get that fan motor installed. But if you have our diamond plan, yes, the manufacturer is going to cover the cost of the part, but we're also going to cover the part of the labor to get that thing installed. And again, it could be, it could be an HVAC system, 5 years, it could be 1 year on an appliance or 2 years on an appliance, but having our diamond coverage really kind of closes the loop on it. So there's truly no expense outside of a trade call fee to get that part installed that they're replacing that's under warranty.
Love that. Team, you have any additional questions? You either want to type them into the chat or you want to unmute yourself and go ahead. Okay. Okay. I think you guys have done an amazing job of covering the information. I expect that, especially within Extreme by LPT, we're going to start embracing this. Something else you could do, I don't think we talked about this. This is a great closing gift, folks. This is an amazing closing gift. Let's go back to something here. When something happens, something goes wrong, especially right after the closing, you represent that buyer. They're going to call you first. They're going to call you first, and it's not necessarily a pleasant call. It's not your fault, but they need to vent. They need to be angry at someone, right? So in the past, agents have invested in, say, a cruise certificate for someone. Yeah, that sounds great on the surface, but the reality is, do they ever really take the cruise? And oftentimes they're having to upgrade, so they're spending money above and beyond. Those cruise certificates were $250. I think for a little bit more, you're offering them peace of mind for 13 months. And not only that, you're really creating an environment where you can get more referrals. And you can use this as part of your social media. Because when have you seen a single real estate agent out there right now doing any kind of a post or any kind of a video that has to do with including a home warranty as part of the services when working with them? So again, this is thinking outside the box. It's not going to get any easier in our business for the next few months. All right. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be challenging. But for those that rise to the occasion and think outside the box, and are not, stepping over pennies to pick up whatever that saying is. You guys probably help me out. What is that? Stepping over dollars
to pick up pennies?
Yeah. You're like, whoa, man, that's going to cost me $400. Well, it's only going to cost you $400 if you freaking close.
Right.
Well, $75. I don't know. No one's asking you for the $75 up front to give that seller the coverage. So go back to the listings you have right now that have been sitting there a minute or two, that look like the air conditioner has been around since the Model T came out. All of these things here, you may think, you know what, maybe what I need to do, instead of automatically going to reducing the price, let me go ahead and include the warranty.
Right.
When you got these buyers that are asking for these ridiculous credit amounts because things are old, and say they may be old, but they're still working. Look at me. I'm old. I'm still working. Praise God. Right. But the reality is, yeah, but the water here is 10 years old. Yeah, but look, a home warranty can go ahead and do that. A $500 or $600 investment on the part of the seller beats the heck out of an additional $3,000 to $5,000 in credit and being given out.
You know
So,
what
I
we're
mean,
seeing?
guys, these are all the different ways that you can use it.
You know what we're seeing, Tony? So two things real quick here. So if you've ever had someone financing and at the end, there's money left over that the lender has in concessions, we often get calls from lenders that's, hey, I've got X amount of money left over. I need a warranty. What can I get for $1,000 or whatever? So we can kind of build a warranty for them. So that happens more often than you think. So we get those calls fairly regularly from lenders with leftover concessions. The other thing was you talked about price reductions or price adjustments. One thing someone could do is said, hey, instead of reducing the price $10,000, right? Let's say this thing's been on the market. We got to get under a certain price bucket or whatever. You could do multi-year warranties with us. So you could do a 3-year warranty. I think it's about $1,400 is our diamond plan roughly. Or a 5-year warranty that's like $2,600. And you put an MLS, this home comes with a 3-year home warranty, or this home comes with a 5-year home warranty. It has a lot of impact as opposed to, the 1 year is great. And, it's really key to have coverage. But from a strategic standpoint, in lieu of just reducing price, hey, so there's another comp in the neighborhood, whatever, we've got to just going and saying this home comes with, putting that in the MLS as this home comes with a 3-year or 5-year home warranty on all systems and appliances has a lot of impact. And when someone looks at the description and sees that, it just gives them more peace of mind. Again, going back to the certified pre-owned vehicle. So there you go.
I was in a meeting about a month ago, and a agent stood up and said that when she was working with she was at a listing presentation, trying to get the listing. The seller actually went with her. She said they had interviewed 2 other agents, and she was the only realtor that offered the seller's coverage and talked about the buyer's home warranty. So the warranty is what got her that listing for that particular seller. That seller had no idea that, one, they could have a warranty while the home was listed, and had no idea about the incentive to offer the warranty for the buyer. So that was a big win for her.
I just think if you're moving into a house and you're like, okay, so I've got everything I've got in this house right now, new or old, is covered for 5 years. It's pretty strong, pretty impactful.
All righty. Any other questions, folks? Let me see here. What about this right here? So, well, it could be either one, Melissa. Right. It could be you as I would always ask the seller to go ahead and do it. Okay. You as the agent can offer the pre-closing one, the one for $75. Right. That could be something that you throw in if needed to get that listing signed on the spot. Exactly. But more often than not, it's the seller that's providing it. Right. You just have to mention it. Now, again, this is a situation where you really want to make the home more attractive. Well, I think the seller would probably be a lot more receptive to paying $1,500 at closing than $5,000 or $10,000 reduction right out of the gate.
Exactly.
So it gives you a whole different way of framing a remarketing or repositioning strategy. And that's what you can say, look, you know what? I think the typical real estate agent would meet with you right now, and the first thing they want you to do is reduce the house by $10,000. Well, I'm not the typical agent. Why don't we try a strategy that's really not used a lot? Probably because agents really don't know. And that is, why don't we do this with the home warranty? And you know what? It could work, saves you thousands of dollars. And if it doesn't, well, we can still lower the price. We just don't have to lower it as much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You said that perfectly, because it's a strategy or it's a tactic. It's the peace of mind knowing that, hey, the thing's covered. Okay, now I know, I looked at the house, I like it. I had my inspection, but knowing that something may be near the end of life and I've got this extra coverage. And again, it's all paid out of proceeds at closing. So nothing happens. It's not like, whether it's a lender or somebody going, hey, we're going to give you a free appraisal. God forbid if that thing doesn't appraise or it doesn't close, you still have to pay the appraiser that did the appraisal. With us, if it doesn't close, no money changes hands. But hopefully it's going to help you get to the closing table and provide peace of mind, a little bit more confidence on the people that are purchasing the home, confidence from the agent, not having to come back and ask for additional concessions post-inspection. So there's a lot of ways, and you won't know until you start doing it. It's really just the execution. And if you have questions when you're positioning it, just call us. And Tony, you said everything perfectly, because strategically, you've got to do things a little bit differently to, again, it's just because what happens is people see something on the market, or they reduce the price, or you had a home that went off the market and went pending, and then it got put back on the market. And what are people going to immediately think? Oh man, it probably went back on the market because there was a bad inspection or something.
Yep.
Maybe if you put it back on the market, maybe you put it back on the market with a 3 or 5 year warranty out of the gate. So it kind of squelches some of that, the doubt part of it.
Yeah, best time to overcome an objection is before it actually gets brought up. So if you know that you have the home warranty that's going to be included and they're going into the inspection, remind them, by the way, you're getting a policy here. So right out of the gate, they know as they're looking at it, because these inspectors, they like to bring everything up to justify their fee. Well, look at that water heater. It's 10 years old. Look at this here. And say, but in the back of their mind, you already told them ahead of time, well, listen, you're going to be covered. You're going to be covered. You're going to be covered. So don't wait until after the inspection to bring it up. Bring it up before. So going in, you're already offsetting the potential objections that can come up.
Amen. All right.
All right. You guys have been wonderful. Thank you so very much, folks.
Thank you.
Okay, let me see here. Team, what do you think? Is this something? I'd like to get your feedback. As always, Gabby and I are trying to do everything we can to bring as many resources to you guys. Is this something that you guys can and will embrace? Can I get some reactions? Can I get some things posted there in the chat? All right. Good to know. Good to know.
Awesome.
All right, guys. We're going to be your number one team, office, whatever.
Let's go.
In South Florida, maybe all of Florida, in short order. So, all right, everyone. Well, thank you so very much, Jeff, Tammy. You guys are awesome.
We appreciate the opportunity. This was awesome.
You got it, guys. Take care. Be blessed. Be safe.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.